Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What you are about to witness is the absolute pinnacle of gaming YouTube. Nowhere on the planet will you find a better gaming YouTuber, I swear. And now, with your host, Jibba73, the DoubleEShow! Dude, can I have $5 now?
What's going on, everybody? Jibba73 back with the DoubleEShow. It's Moving Monday with American Truck Simulator. Here's a note that you should take into account. I'm continuing this directly after the end of last week's episode, so I will not be talking about what games are coming up this week and what I've done in them, because this is just a continuation of the trip. We're going to try to finish the delivery in this episode. Let's actually take a look at the map and see where we are. Yep. We might get through it. I might edit out some boring parts if there are any. There usually is, and but we'll finish it in this episode. So, anywho, when we left off in the last episode, I was talking about getting into computer gaming. So my brother bought a Windows-based computer, and he had a couple of games for it and stuff. But I wasn't really that interested in loading up a disc. Waiting for load times, because there were horrendous load times when you played on the PC, and I wasn't really that interested in it, even though at the time I was working at a software store and I was getting software. I was getting free demos from vendors who would come in to promote their products and whatnot. And, let me actually step it up here and get 4, 5. There we go. I set cruise control. I would get free games and stuff like that from the vendors coming in, and free software and stuff, and I would get really good discounts on new versions of Windows that were coming out, new versions of DOS and OS2 and blah 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 and all that crap. So I would bring them home for my brother. But I still liked playing console gaming, and that's when the PlayStation came out. For me, it had been out for a little bit, but I picked up a PlayStation and I started playing the PlayStation, and I was hooked. I had Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot and Tomb Raider. Excuse me. Tomb Raider. Why am I catching up on these guys? Oh, the speed limit went down. Right on. And yeah, so I picked it. I had a bunch of games. Had Resident Evil for the PlayStation. I had a ton of sports games. That's when I think Madden came out on the Sega Genesis, but on the PlayStation, it was really good. Major League Baseball, 2000 or no. MLB 97, I think, was the first one I got. Might have been 96 even. But anyways, I played the crap out of the PlayStation, and then I got the PlayStation 2, and then I got the PlayStation 3. But I kind of stuck with console gaming because even though at the time the AAA releases were all the same price, whether you bought them on PC or you bought them on a console, they were $60. So for me to buy it for a console, plug it in the console, and immediately have the game start was a huge bonus. The downside that I didn't really pay a lot of attention to was no modding. I didn't know anything about mods and the ability to expand your game and stuff, which you could do on PC. Until I had the PlayStation 3, and I played Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And then when I was looking up cheats on the internet to get special armors and things like that, that's when I discovered links to mods for the PC version. And although I had a PC, I used it mostly for productivity. It wasn't set up for gaming. And I then bought Elder Scrolls Oblivion for the PC, and my computer had the minimum specs to play that game. But I bought it so that way I could download these mods, which added missions, added homes, added territories, added buildings, added NPCs, added just anything you could think of that you would want to add to the game. They had it in a mod. And that was kind of the hook for me, going from consoles to PC gaming, was just the endless possibilities of the modding community on 90% of the games that were out there. A lot of AAA titles didn't unlock their source code or whatnot, so you couldn't mod for the titles. However, 90% had it. 10% of the AAA titles had everything locked up. They didn't want anybody messing with their stuff. Whereas the other 90% kind of welcomed the vision of the community to add stuff to their games, which made it playable longer, which means more people would go, oh, that looks cool, and they would continue to buy the game for the purpose of adding mods to it. And that was exciting. That was exciting to me that there were endless possibilities to me for games. So that being said, I kind of went whole hog into PC gaming all at once. I was going to buy that garage that we just passed, but oh, that wasn't a garage. Oh, I thought that was a garage. Come on, brakes. Woo! Got the realistic braking on, and it stops a lot slower. Come on, baby. Climb it. Move back over to the right. But I'm going to digress back from the PC gaming switchover. For console playing, the PlayStation 1, I had 55, 60 games for it. I got my oldest son games for it. We played games together. He grew up a gamer. 2, 4, 6. So he got to enjoy it from very early on, like I did. Then the PlayStation 2 came around. I bought that. I probably had 45 or 50 games for the PlayStation 2. Now, it was backwards compatible, so I could still play PlayStation 1 games on it, which was awesome. And, I mean, that was very enjoyable. It was a good time for me and my son together to hang out, play games. He was good at some games that I wasn't. He enjoyed some of the games that I wasn't really into, but I picked them up for him, and I loved watching him play. I loved watching him play games. Just the enjoyment that he got out of it, the excitement he got. But boy, did I recognize quickly that he had a temper. He would get mad at himself for not being able to beat a level. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sometimes to the point of tears, And I would have to remind him that it's a game, it's supposed to be fun. When you get frustrated and it's not fun, take a break. Put in a different game. Or find something else to do. Now, mind you, he played baseball and basketball and soccer and stuff like that. So he wasn't just an indoor kid. It was just something that we really had in common that that we could do together, along with sports. I loved sports, so I played a lot of them. So we would play baseball together. We'd throw the football around. We'd play some basketball. Wasn't really a fan of soccer, so we never played soccer together. But yeah, it was a good mix. Anywho, but when the PlayStation 3 came out, the graphics were just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Dare I say at the time, PC level graphics. Yeah, I'm going to say it. They were almost at the level of the PC, or at least they were as good as the PC I had. And that's when I got into first-person shooters, was on the PlayStation 3, because I had games like Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell, and I'm trying to, that might even be the same one. I'm trying to remember some of the war games that I had, the war style games on PlayStation 2. Gosh, I can hardly remember. But when I got PlayStation 3, that's when I got into the Call of Duty franchise and started playing a lot of Call of Duty. And I wasn't phenomenal at it, but I was pretty good. And that's when I actually joined a game clan and got into competitive gaming. I actually wasn't good enough to be a competitive gamer because my reflexes were a little iffy when it came to shooters. But the guys that I was instructing, as far as tactics and things like that, their reflexes were great. And they were able to take my tactics. They were able to take my tactics and implement them and make them successful in the competitive gaming arena. So when we would do clan versus clan battles, we did pretty good. Please pull in. Oh man. So they would do pretty good. I tried desperately not to take much credit. Okay. Coming down here. I got to get into this way station, which is awkwardly positioned, to say the least. It's almost not even on the route that I'm taking. I have no idea what's going on here. That's a gas station to the right. There's no way station in there. That's a way station over there. Alright, here's my way station. Here's my way station. Yeah, I'm all over the place. I have no idea where I'm supposed to be. Alright, let's get weighed and get out of here. That was a little confusing. I probably should have looked for the road signs. Parking brake on. Hit enter. We are 82,506 pounds. Woo-hoo! Get out of here. I gotta go. Well, that stop sign. I'm gonna take this left. Try to come as wide as I can. There we go. Good. navigated it. Okay. Yeah. That was interesting. That was an interesting spot. Coming back down to the main road here. Yeah, so I got into the clan, and then that was about the point where my health really had gotten pretty bad. Oh, that's a horrible spot for that sign. Just saying. By the time I get out of here, something's going to be right up on me. You watch. Okay. Woo! Got lucky there. That was hectic as all get out. Okay. But yeah, that's about the point where my health started to go downhill. And once my health started to go downhill, I couldn't game anymore. I'm blowing that stop sign and I'm hauling out. Because I couldn't sit for long periods of time to, you know, sit down for an instruction session. Excuse me, for a gaming session. And that's the point where I transitioned over to PC. Because with the PC, even though there were game clans for the PC and stuff like that, I could sit down for 20 minutes, play something, save it, walk away, take care of medical stuff, come back, sit down for a half an hour, play, save it, walk away. It was a lot easier to do that for me, and so that's where I really started picking up titles and stuff like that for PC. Along with Oblivion, I bought a Battlefield title. I think it was Battlefield Vietnam, the original one. They had re-released one that was in Vietnam setting. This was Battlefield Vietnam, like the first one. Let's see, what were some of the other titles that I played? I played a lot of Oblivion on the PC. Oh, SimCity. Picked up SimCity. I liked the city builder games even back then. A friend of mine got me into Arma, which sated my my shooter, military sim appetite. So I think it was Arma 2 that I got in on, Operation Arrowhead. And that was a great deal of fun. And what was nice about it was the maps were huge. So if I needed to step away, I could find a little nook or cranny to go hide in, and then come back to it when I got back, you know. So, yeah, I mean, my progression was probably not as quick as some of you in getting to PC gaming, but yeah, I mean that's how I got there. And then I think, geez, when I found Banished, so when I first started playing it, I loved that it was only you against the elements. There weren't attacking hordes. There weren't, you didn't have to worry about, like, god strikes and weird crap. It was realistic stuff that happened. There would be diseases that would come. You would have a tornado. You might have a fire in your village that breaks out and destroys a lot of things. I'm gonna put my flashers on. You had to feed your citizens so they didn't starve. You had to clothe them so they didn't freeze to death. You provided them shelter and places to work and fields to mend, and it was a great deal of fun for me. And I got hooked on it. And then when I found the mods, again, the modding community and what they do for a game. When the mods started really getting made for Banish, I jumped right in. I jumped right in, picking mods here and there and stuff. Prison Architect was another one. You build a prison, you populate it. It's just the people within it that you have to deal with. And then the mods. The mods extended the gameplay. They added character and charm with certain scenarios and certain things. The prisons on the workshop on Steam would give me inspiration in prisons that I was trying to build or that I would build. And it was a great deal of fun. Great deal of fun. But those are some of the newer games, 2014 and such. It was really from 2008, right around 2008 was when I really started getting into PC gaming. So the titles that were available back then, obviously not the same as ones that are available now. Civilization. I played Civilization with my brother. Gosh. Man, I can barely remember all the games that I purchased for it. I remember I bought a bunch of CSI games for my wife because she really liked watching the shows. And I thought, boy, it'd be great for her to sit down and actually do the crime solving and the crime scene investigation in the game. So you never played them. Loved the gifts. Was like, oh, that'll be so cool to get into. She is just so incredibly busy. All the time she keeps herself busy. She's never played them. Just like I bought her the book series, 50 Shades of Grey. I bought her the box set because she really wanted to read the books. She's never cracked the spine on one of them. Just cannot find the time. And I keep trying to get her to relax and take time for herself and do these things. But whenever she has a spare moment, she's always working on the next thing. So it's kind of crazy. I'm riding the stay awakey strip, but it looks like our delivery's up ahead, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so we'll wrap it up here. So from 2008 until 2015, I just played games. I hadn't really touched my PlayStation 3 since 2008, and I played a lot of PC games. Yep, it's coming up ahead. Winnemucca. So yeah, I mean this is where we're at now. In 2015, I started up my YouTube channel for something else. And 2016, I decided that I would start putting gaming content on it. So it's really just been since around 2016, late 2015, 2016, that I've been producing gaming content. And I would love to have had more subscribers by now, but I like I like the fact that I'm not overwhelmed by my channel, but it gives me the feeling that no one else is overwhelmed by it either. But yeah, so when I started gaming to make content, my gaming habits changed. So I don't play the games offline when I'm not recording them for content, so that every time I come back in, all of my ideas that pop into my head aren't used up elsewhere. They're put right into the next episode of the game we're playing. And that way I don't run out of ideas for games and for where we go with games, if that makes sense to y'all. Okay, I'm going to take a wide swing here. Looks like we're going straight back in, so the X must be up here for the delivery. I think I just set it up to auto easy. So I just have to look around for the auto easy spot. Looks like it's dead ahead, actually. It is. All right, very good. Or did I need to turn around? Oh, I think I needed to turn around. Nope. Okay. Boom. Put the park brake on. Right on. And there she is. Our delivery. Pay no attention to the XP. Again, once I get max level, which I think is 75, it doesn't, nothing else unlocks for your trucks. I'm going to take the XP cheat out. But there you go. We got 26,450, 804. That would be the standard XP. No, that's a little hiked as well, I think. Excuse me. But almost 500 miles and over 100 gallons. So there you go. So yeah. Listen, if you like what you're watching, hit that like and subscribe button down below. Tell your family, tell your friends. I think it's this one. No. Let's go this one. There we go. Now we can come back out here. Tell your family, tell your friends. If you have any suggestions as what you'd like me to talk about in American Truck Simulator while we're doing our drives, put them in the comments below, because I do read them. And with that, I will catch you next Monday for another episode of Moving Mondays with American Truck Simulator. Peace.
That was a failure of epic proportions. Unacceptable.